coming home, it's what, like 2011, 2012 maybe?
13.
2013?
Like almost 14.
Almost 14. All right, coming home from prison, uh, Detroit rap music had kind of evolved. It definitely was far off of like what it is today,
Mm-hmm.
but it had kind of evolved. Like we had kind of like recovered from the passings of Wipeout and Blade. Like we kind of like recovered from that as a city and a culture, and people were kind of like back to making music. Like you had your Team Eastsides, your Doughboys,
Mm-hmm.
band gangs, like Stun Hearts. Like you had like a lot of people moving. Rocane, like it was just a lot. It was like a more of a well-rounded culture in the city when it came to rap music. So how did you kind of transition into that versus like when you left? None of these people that was hot when you came home, like you probably didn't even know these people when you name when you left.
Yeah, I think the transition to that was when I came home, I didn't even focus on what nobody else was doing. I almost acted as if it wasn't even something happening. I completely let none of that affect me. Like when I came home, people was like, "Oh, these people doing this, these people doing this. You gotta go to these people to shoot your videos. You gotta go to these people for your beats. You gotta go." I acted like none of this was even irrelevant. I came home like I'm not worried about nothing that nobody's doing currently because what they're doing currently, I'm not even in the position to be prepared because I ain't never even been to the studio at this time. So what I look like going to these people to even do anything, and I gotta learn the whole phase of music and how to rap and what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So I completely didn't even pay attention to nothing nobody had going on. I didn't rap on no Detroit beats. I didn't even take the Detroit culture into embrace it to be like, I gotta fit in. I was hearing the music, but I literally wouldn't play the radio. I wouldn't do nothing. All I would do is go to work and go to the studio. I started learning my own style, creating my own wave, just doing everything. Like people like you got to go get your video shot. I'm not doing it. I'm shooting a video on an iPhone because I'm not ready for the world to even be like, oh, this is what they about to listen to because I haven't even never done this before. So people was trying to make me put a budget into something that it was no equity or no value in. I was saying I'm a rapper. I was saying I'm doing this. A couple of my people saying, yeah, you could do this. But 99% of the people saying like, well, you rapping. What are you talking about? Everybody was at a shock because they like, I ain't never seen you rap a day in my life. What is you talking about? You about to rap? And I'm like, nah, like that's what I said I'm gonna do when I get out, and that's what I'm gonna do. Like I don't care about what y'all know me for or what y'all want to know me for. And then you got all the influences like, hey, you should just jump back into this or jump into this, and you got to look at it and everybody like, you don't gamble no more, you don't do this no more, you don't do that no more. I'm talking about I ain't even had time for no female at this time. I'm like, I'm straight. Let me go to work and let me go to the booth. And I did that for probably the whole first 9 months that I was in Detroit. I stayed in Detroit for like 9 months. And after that, I left and went to Atlanta. And then that's when it all picked up. But I honestly didn't even pay attention to the Detroit culture. Like, I didn't know what it was about or what it was to do because I was brand new to it. Like, I wasn't in prison. I couldn't hear no Detroit music. I wasn't looking for that. I'm looking at BET. I'm looking at Universal Music, MTV. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Detroit culture, the only person that was doing something during that time was like Big Sean. But that's not Detroit culture to the point that how Detroit sound was. He had his own way. When you talk about Big Sean, it was like, this isn't the Detroit sound. Detroit has a specific sound. Big Sean did not come like that. You didn't really get this whole Detroit sound really tight like this until you seen T Grizzly come like that and it really picked up like that. But before that, it was like it wasn't really no wave to be like, oh, you trying to be like the independent artist of Detroit. That wasn't really in my mind because I'm watching Drake and Lil Wayne. You know what I mean? So it's like what Rocane or what Cash Out Doughboy is doing, that really wasn't a factor because they wasn't really global. They had did the little situation with Jeezy, but they had came back home, so it wasn't really something that I was like, that's what I'm trying to emulate. I'm still looking at the big dogs, and I'm like, I'm trying to come get that spot up there, and you can still see that to the day that's what I'm still on, that same thing.
Right.